Hey boys, old man Copper here. Well, it's a little cold today in Florida, so and the wind is whipping, so that's kind of a double entendre for you. In that being out in the porch is just going to be too loud and too cold. I don't really mind the cold too much, at least not the kind of cold that Florida puts out. But I thought I'd bring you into the office for some office talks. So I'm kind of stoked about that. Not to mention, I'm uh, kind of trying out new things. And as we go, and I'll probably remind you guys as we go through the video, I would love some input from you guys, especially the fellas that are really spending some time watching these things and commenting. I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. And I would really love some input on some things I'm doing and to see if I can get better or find out if it really doesn't matter. If it doesn't matter, then it doesn't matter. So let me get a little pipe going. So, damn, that's good. So, kind of ran into a buddy of mine the other day, and fire service, of course, because that's where most of my buddies come from. And he is still in. And, we had a really nice talk. We had some barbecue, some bourbon, and a little bit of beer, and actually had a smoke as well. And it was a good time. But what was really interesting was he sat back and he asked me, man, what's it like on the other side? How you enjoying that? And I was kind of like, hold on, I tamped this foot. Yeah, I got it light and tamped and light again. So I told him, I said, this is absolutely fantastic. So we went through the conversation quite a bit, and got on the other side, had a few boozers. I was feeling pretty good, man. But got done, and so a couple days ago, I started thinking, I think there was probably like 10, 12, 13 things that I named off in the course of our conversation that are really awesome about being retired. But in the state I was in, I can only remember 7. So today, I'm going to talk to you guys about 7 treasures that I found in retirement. And here they go. So the first one that I sat and talked about with my buddy was, and it's really, again, no rocket surgery, in that your freedom of time. Now, it's kind of a not a double-edged sword, but it's kind of a different thing for firemen because we work a 24-hour shift, and by that alone, and generally between a 53 and a 56-hour work week, and what ends up happening, we work, when we're young in our career, about 10 days a month. And then, of course, because every third day, right? Then as you get older in your career and you're a senior, I think by the time I was done, I was working about, at least at the firehouse, about 7 days a month. So, but like most firemen, I worked 2 other jobs. I actually was working 3 jobs for as long as I can remember. Of course, I worked with my fire job. I was a instructor for our fire department, an instructor at the fire academy, and I also was what's called a CPAT proctor, which is a candidate preparation activity test proctor, which is the entry-level test for candidates that want to become a fireman. If you don't have a CPAT certificate, you got no business being a fireman. I mean, that's not necessarily true, but you got to get that to get in. So, but when I retired, next thing you know, I got a lot of time on my hands. And I know I've talked to you guys before that time has been, at times, has been a double-edged sword, but I can tell you for the most part, you know, not working 3 jobs is really nice. And even towards the end, I think I told you guys I did arson investigations at the end, and then some fire marshal stuff, or basically fire inspector. But I even worked extra there, and that was basically I was on call for fire investigations, and then I also acted as like the fire marshal at concert events. You know what I mean? So I'd have to go do inspect. So it's kind of neat. But so when I retired, having a ton of time on your hands, which it's actually I can bitch and moan all I want, boys, but it's dynamite. You know, I went from 70 to 90 hours a week to nothing. And that's one. Number 2 was or is I get to develop relationships that I put off for a long time. And this is something I think in a future video I'm going to talk about is priorities. I think even talking about, you can hear how much I worked, and my identity was so wrapped up with my work that I probably didn't cater to the relationships that I should have. Probably is the wrong word. That's just me being dismissive of myself. So now that I'm retired, I have got some of the best relationships that I've ever had. And this is especially with family. My daughter told me not too long ago, now she's at college, but when she was down for Christmas, she kind of said to me the other day, she's like, because we had a really nice conversation. We have nice conversations. And she said, you're better now. God dang, boys. You think you're doing the right thing. And this is not here to be a bitch session or a club session of myself, but you really think you're there to provide and do these things, but you get wrapped up and you get tied up in who you are and what you're trying to do, and you forget what's really important, which are your family. I mean, as of now, my relationship with my daughter is phenomenal. I can tell you, my relationship with my father, you've heard me talk about my father quite a bit. If I would have been doing these videos 5 years ago, I wouldn't have had anything bad to say about my father, but I wouldn't have been talking much about him. But now we've got a great relationship. On top of that, my brother and I are buddies now, and that's never been. We were always kind of rivals. Now it's not that way anymore. But getting retired, you can really spend the time that you need with the people that you love. I think you don't know till you know. Okay. The third is new hobbies. So I've started new things, and of course we've talked about it here a little bit, and I do my mustache wax, beard balm, all the wax goods, but I'm not going to count that because that's not a hobby. This YouTube stuff, you can call that, it's not a hobby. This is something that I'm taking very seriously, almost as a new career. It's slow moving, but it is what it is, and you got to put the time in, right? You got to be willing to be a fool to move up doing this. But there are some other new hobbies that I'm doing. If you guys have a chance to go on my Instagram, you'll see I'm involved with a lot of guys doing bushcraft and survival. I've been a little hesitant to do it, but my best buddy is a good friend of mine is really into it, and his DVI, bushcraft and survival. I've gotten to be very good friends with a military SEER instructor. He's actually a retired Delta guy, and he puts on these events. And if you've been over my Instagram, you'll see all the videos doing that. So I've actually picked up doing bushcraft and survival stuff. And on top of that, in March 13th, I'm taking a blacksmith class. I've always wanted to do it, man. I've been interested in blacksmithing for years. So I can do that. It's you get the opportunity to follow the things you love, and if you plan your life right, financially, you can set yourself up to do all these great things. So, the number 4, it ties in all 3, is travel. Now, I'm not a big traveler, boys. I don't like to fly. I hate flying. Um, I'm a big guy. I don't sit well or fit well in the seats. Whenever I travel, well, the last time I traveled far, I went to Hawaii for my nephew's birthday. Not birthday, I'm sorry, his wedding. I flew first class. It was a freaking financial killer, but I couldn't do a, however, 12, 13-hour trip sitting in a freaking coach seat. No, I ain't doing that. There we go. I'm probably going to light it again. It's almost like a nervous habit. But being retired, I can go do whatever I want to do when I want to do it. I take my my wax goods with me. I go and do whatever I need to do. So I run. I just was up in December at the skills event, at the Bushcraft skills event. I went from there to Georgia for Christmas. You saw the videos. And then this March, I'm heading back up to North Carolina at that Bushcraft guy is the blacksmith as well. And I'm taking a blacksmithing class from him. And then a few months after that, I'm taking all of my wax stuff. I'm going to the Georgia Bushcraft spring session. I'm actually getting a booth I'm going to sell. But again, you travel, I can plan my own time and do what I need to do. The next one is simple pleasures. Now, I've beat up simple pleasures on this channel ad nauseum. Simple pleasure, all right? Simple pleasure. This is Cream of Kentucky small batch brothers for $75. I know that's a little pricey, but good Lord, that's good booze. That's wonderful. Check it out. I take walks 3 or 4 times a week. I really enjoy these small things. I mean, sitting down, I sit down, I grab a book. I can't tell you, in this last 6-7 months, I've read, I think 7 plus, 8 novels. 8 novels I've read. All by the same guy, but they were freaking fantastic. Simple pleasures, boys. Sitting down, having a cup of coffee and a smoke, man. Little tutor in the afternoon, man. A good walk. I don't even know. It's fantastic. The next one, so this would be number 6, is health. I can get into a little more, but right before I retired, I think I've talked to you guys a little bit before. I've always been kind of a fitness guy. Even though I'm a big fella, I've been involved with training and fitness all my entire life. But there was a time towards the end of my career at the fire department that I just kind of gave up on it. It was very freeing in some ways. I had a bunch of some real heavy duty injuries. I blew both my knees out. I blew a shoulder out. My neck is messed up. I mean, there's a list of stuff, but I there was just a point in time I just said I gotta step away from this for a little bit, and I ended up putting on a lot of weight, and the way I carry my weight is in my stomach, and I ended up I think I got sleep apnea, which I don't normally have, and that influenced me to have some heart issues from waking up and your heart spiking all the time, and then I was drinking a little too much then, and anyhow, that's neither here nor there. I ended up in the hospital with AFib, and then I actually retired just a few weeks after that. I mean, that was a portion of why I retired, because I needed to get healthy. And the moment I retired, I had a knee surgery, a knee replacement, And then once I could walk, about 6 weeks after that, I hit the ground running. And last year I dropped about 40 pounds. And I hit the weight I normally stick at, which is about 235. And I've been going ever since. And I'm about as in good shape as I've been at this age for a really long time. So, not to mention, I've got on a real good sleep schedule, and those things are very important. I mean, I go to bed at 9 o'clock sharp every night. I wake up about 5 in the morning, and I'm good to go. And I've been sleeping through the night. So, health, I could have probably put that number one, but I was just remembering how I spoke to my buddy. So the last and the seventh treasure of retirement has been mental freedom. My stress levels down. We've talked about it, about letting go, not chasing. I'm not chasing any kind of, I'm not chasing status anymore. I'm not chasing, I'm not climbing the ladder. I'm not worried about what people think. And that's been a process. But the mental clarity that came from retiring has been fantastic. So, and it's really evolved around just the lowering of the stress level. So that's all 7. So if I went through them really quick, number 1 was freedom of time. Number 2 was good relationships. Number 3 was new hobbies. Number 4 was travel. Number 5 was simple pleasures. Number 6 was health. And number 7 was mental freedom. And these were all things almost to a T that we talked about with my buddy. I mean, I told you I forgot some, but those were almost the exact words that we put to them when I was there. So, again, boys, I really appreciate everything. And today I'm smoking that Rossi Bent Billiard Rubino. This is that Italian. It's a Savinelli step down. Smokes really well. I'm smoking the Peach Cobbler Briarworks ribbon cut in here. I'm not like a lot of you guys, and there's no problem. I just don't buy a ton of tobacco. I get just a little bit, or get a bunch, a few, and then I work through those, and I don't like to have a bunch on the shelf. But guys, give me a little input. Let me know what you think of everything. Let me know actually about what you think about me doing maybe more of these talks in here for office talks, or instead of a porch talk. But I kind of like it. But I want to hear what you have to say. So you guys have yourself a wonderful day. This video went a little long, but is what it is. And I'm loving everything I'm doing, boys. And I love y'all. And I appreciate everything you guys are doing. Keep me going on this, boys. Head on over to oldmancopper.com. Get you some Mustache Wax Beard Balm. I got lip balm that with my daughter's name on it. I've got some solid bug repellent, which is really killing it. And if you've got any kind of blades or anything like that, I've got blade balm that's become very popular. So go on over to oldmancopper.com, check it out, and we'll take care of you. And if you actually come February 1st, I'm going to have some discount codes. And I think probably, now that I'm thinking about it, next week, I will give a discount code in the video. And if you've watched it, you can plug that in at my site, and it'll get you something really good. So I'm going to reach over here and stop the video. So you guys have a great day. I love you all. Keep me going. See ya.